Hello, my name is Zhou and I'm a PhD student from Portugal. Today I'm going to talk about a paper that catch my eye in 2014 when I started working with bats. So this paper is about a topic that is not very normalized in our society to talk about. So I would like that to change. That's why, to be honest, I picked this paper. Also, it shows that science can be about anything. I also printed this paper in 2014 and I still have it, just for you to see how much I love it. So today I'm going to talk about Fellatio by fruit bats prolongs copulation time. So this is a paper, a research paper published in 2009 by several authors from China, and Marimuthu is like the leading author. So this paper basically is describing the regular fellatio among the greater short-nosed fruit bats. So it's a very different topic. It's just a paper describing a behavior, but for me it was very interesting and very funny to read. And a fun fact is that this paper won a Ig Nobel Prize. If you don't know, Ig Nobel Prizes recognize achievements that first make people laugh and then make people think. So it's very, I would say it's similar to a Nobel Prize, but without all the prestige and all the money. I would love to win a Ig Nobel Prize. So the author started the introduction by highlighting that oral sex is a behavior that is not very common in nature. So we know some cases from bonobos where the juveniles do fellatio, the blowjob, between themselves, but mostly for playing. And then we have our cases, humans, and we do it mostly for pleasure. So there is not so far evolutionary reason for animals to be doing oral sex, and it's what is very interesting about this paper. So the authors didn't have in mind to study fellatios. They only wanted to describe the copulation behavior of this species. And for that, they went to the field. They captured around 20 to 30 males and 30 females, and they put a pair, like one male and one female, in each cage. Then they put some cameras, and they record from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So the objective here was to count how many times the bats copulate, how many times do they have sex, and record the duration of the sex. So after going out through all the hours of recording, the researchers found something very interesting. So the bats were not only copulating, but sometimes females were doing fellatio to males. So, and what is more interesting is that they recorded a total of 20 copulation events, so 20 times that bats were having sex, and on 70% of those ones, there was oral sex done by females. And now comes the scientific part. So basically, on average, these copulation events would take around 2 minutes. But when the female was doing oral sex to the male, it would increase to almost 4 minutes. So it almost doubled the time that the copulation event would take place. So it almost seems that it found the cure for immature ejaculation. Of course not, because it doesn't apply to humans. I would assume that we probably would show opposite patterns, but not the topic here. So it's super nice. So when females are doing oral sex, the copulation time of the event increases almost by double. So, and this raises some nice questions. So if this is happening, maybe there is like a evolutionary reason for this behavior. So, and based on that, the researchers put forward 4 different scenarios. So the first scenario is that they think by genital licking. So when the female is doing the oral sex, it may lubricate the penis or increase the stimulation, prolonging the duration of the sex. And by prolonging the duration of the sex, it may assist with the transportation of the sperm until the oviduct, or can stimulate some secretions in the female and hence increase the likelihood of fertilization. So oral sex leads to more duration in copulation, which in turn leads to higher likelihood of fertilization. It's a nice hypothesis, and I think it's very likely to be true, but it's just an hypothesis in the end. So the second hypothesis, it's a funny one. So basically, because these species males, they form harems, where basically we have a male that has several females and he mates with all of them. They think that by increasing the duration of the copulation, this female is avoiding the male, avoiding that the male copulates with the other females. So basically what they call mate guarding. So basically the female does the fellatio in order to keep the male just for herself. What I like to call the anti-jealous fellatio. I don't know. So, but this is the second hypothesis. The third hypothesis is my favorite because it focuses on saliva, and you don't know. I don't know if you know, but saliva has huge protective properties. It's antifungical and antiviral, and I only know this because there is like this research by Portuguese people that also won a Nobel Prize, and the research is called Human Saliva as Cleaning Agent for Dirty Surface. So basically, they show that you can use saliva to disinfect surfaces, but please don't clean dirty surfaces with your saliva or your penis. Just use a condom, is much more safe. So the theory here on this third hypothesis is that fellatio, because of the saliva, may confer bacterial benefits and in this way assist in the prevention of STDs. Super interesting. So the fourth hypothesis, I think for me is the one that's more far-fetched, is that by licking the penis, females receive some immune response chemical cues associated with mate choice. So basically, by licking the penis, females know if the partner is a good match for her or not based on some genetic characteristics. A bit far-fetched, but either way, super interesting. So these are the four hypotheses of it, but you need to keep in mind this is like a study done in captivity. So maybe in nature, because of the male-to-male competition in colonies or the risk of predation, the copulation time can be much less, or maybe even the oral sex doesn't occur because of safety reasons. We don't know. We need to observe this behavior in nature. Just to finalize, just because I know that you are thinking about this, so we know that males are receiving oral sex from females, but are females also receiving oral sex from males? And I'm not going to dive into this, but the answer is yes. There is a paper describing Cunnilingus at oral sex on females on fruit bats, and guess what? Also increases the copulation duration. So very interesting that oral sex is always associated to higher copulation duration. Okay, so it's all for now. If you want to check this paper in more detail, I'm going to leave them in the description of this video. And please keep laughing and keep thinking about the things that make us laugh. Bye bye.